So recently, I've been getting back into Fire Emblem Awakening. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Although a flawed Fire Emblem game that kind of gets pretty shit after a couple chapters. Not a couple chapters. Like once you reach the mid game and late game, it gets pretty shit. But like the early game's pretty fun. I'm in the mid game, and this is one really annoying chapters. So there's, I believe on like turn four. A lot of mounted units start to spawn out of these forts over here, making for some shitty ambush spawns. And there's like a lot of archers and shit that can take out your flying units and stuff. So it's just a really big pain in the ass, this map, having to tank all these guys. Now, you could Nosferatu tank a lot of these guys with your Dark Mages, which I have a couple of, but I'm actually going to show you how to complete this awful, awful chapter in one turn. So the first thing you're going to need is Ana as a trickster. This is her base class, so it shouldn't be too hard. I have Ana at level 8. I haven't used her too much, but it's enough. Her staff rank starts off at D, which is enough to use the rescue staff, so she's obviously like a really fucking good unit in this game for the amount of utility she provides. Um, I actually have the 11 sword on her, although we won't be using it, just so she can dish out damage when she needs to. She's really dodgy too, but that's not how we're going to use her. So if you remember last chapter, I forget the name of it, but the fort chapter, in one of the chests you can get some boots. Apply the boots to Olivia to give her 7 move instead of 5. She's a dancer, so she'll allow your units to obviously move once again. And I would suggest having at least a B support with Crom if you're using Sully like I am. Although you can use any unit with really high move. It's just that Sully's really fucking good, I find, usually for this. You could use anybody with high strength and good speed. I had a speed wing laying around, so I gave that to her, so she has 28 speed. I also used the Gaius Confect I had lying around as well to boost her stats. More importantly, her strength and her speed stat, bringing it up to 30. If you see Wallheart over here, now the requirement for this chapter is just to beat the boss, not to rout the enemy, so you only have to kill the boss to win, although it takes a while to get there if you're doing it normally. But we're going to do some rescue strats like I have. He has 30 speed, so basically on equal speed with Sully. Now, if I go ahead and I take Crom over here and do a pair-up bonus right here, as you can see, with a B support, it's 6 speed, so that's enough to double Wallheart, right? And I also, the only real way I see to do this, to one-round this guy in one turn, is to forge a Brave Lance, which you should have at least one of by this point in the game. So I have 14 might on this thing. I could have gave it 15, but I found that 14 was a little, or 15 was a little overkill, and 14 was like just enough. So I have everybody placed here. There's actually only 4 important units that I really want to use for this map. The first one is Cordelia. Now, Cordelia is going to do the least of the work, but she starts off as a Pegasus Knight and can quickly promote into a Dark Flyer, which gets one of the best skills in the game. I'm actually not talking about Gale Force here. I actually think Gale Force is pretty overrated. I'm actually talking about Rally Movement. Now, what Rally Movement does, if you don't know, it essentially gives a bunch of movement to any unit that's in a vicinity when you use Rally. It gives them some extra moves. So now we got Sully up to 9 move. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to move Ana up here. Now, like I said before, it's really important that you give the boots to Olivia. So Olivia's going to actually want to dance for... let me zoom out for you. Olivia's going to actually want to dance for Ana so she can use the rescue staff. Now, I did put a magic tonic. I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but I did put a magic tonic on Ana so she has a bigger warp range. You need at least a 9 move character and a 22 warp range to really make this work. A 22 magic warp range, because magic is the way the rescue is calculated is to how many tiles you can rescue away from, it's magic divided by 2. So that means we need at least 22 magic, which 22 divided by 2 is 11, so that's 11 tiles, which is just one more than enough than we need, which is actually really good because that allows for some flexibility. Now, the way that warp works in this game, or rescue works in this game, it's actually going to deliver you to the bottom last tile. So the tile basically right below Ana instead of the right or the left, which some games, it's different each one, but for the starting order, it's right below, one tile below Ana. So we're actually going to move Ana one tile left of the middle cavalier up near the little fort up there. We're going to move her up here, and then we're going to wait. We're not going to rescue quite yet. we're gonna take Olivia over here, who has 7 moves, can easily make it over to Anna, and we're gonna dance for her, allowing her to make another turn. Basically, move once again per this turn, take another action. Sorry, my hand's a bit shaky. I got like fucking AIDS or some shit. I don't know. So next, we're actually going to take Anna right here, who is a trickster. I mentioned that before, and has a rescue staff. Now the rescue staff, you only need 1 use on the rescue staff. So if you've been using the rescue staff up to this point, don't worry about it. You can also buy rescue staffs up to this point. So even if you did already break your rescue staff, you can continue to buy more, and they're only like 1,000 gold, so they're pretty cheap. So we're gonna have Anna here. We're gonna have her go up as far as she can to where she's still in rescue range. We actually can move 1 more. It is 1 more tile than we need, but that is fine. Actually, I think it's exact tile. I'm not quite sure. It's been a while since I did this strat. So we're just gonna rescue Sully, paired with Crom over here. Get a level up. The level up's not really what matters, but 1 extra magic and some skill is alright, and the luck really doesn't fucking matter except for hit rate and avoid rate. So now we got Sully over here. Let me see. Sully is right here, and with that 9 move, thanks to our extra rally, since we rally move, we have just enough movement to get up to the boss over here, who is Walhart of this chapter. Now, make sure Crom is equipped with a good weapon. I'm using one of the DLC weapons, the Luna, but really, if you wanted to, you could buy another Brave Lance and then forge it, or even a Silver Lance would work, because you only need Crom to hit twice. So buy like a Silver Lance, forge it, and make sure it has at least 14 might. I'm actually using the Luna because it's slightly better, because the Luna can proc the Luna skill that halves defense. So it just makes it a little easier to land blows. So it just gives me a bit more wiggle room if I miss. So I nicknamed it 1 turn because we're going to beat this map in 1 turn. So I'm going to use this Brave Lance, and we're going to go ahead and engage real quick. Blah, blah, blah. I'm evil bad guy. I want to conquer world. It's whatever. So Sully gets to attack 4 times because she also doubles this guy, and Brave Lance allows you to attack twice. So that gives her a total of 4 damage going on here. So all she's got to do is hit twice, and Crom needs to hit once. And there we go. Actually, Crom only needed to hit once. I miscalculated. My bad. But she only needs to hit twice, and Crom only needs to hit once. Almost got a full level up, but, whatever. And then we get the Soul Sword, and that's how you beat this stage in 1 chapter. Or 1 turn. Whatever. Fuck.